All right, welcome back to the channel, you guys. Yeah, we got a little bit to talk about today. Hopefully you're having a terrific Taco Tuesday, and I'm gonna give it a couple minutes for people to pop on so we can have a conversation. I gotta say, Bold and the Beautiful, a lot of the scenes in there were filler scenes to me. So I kind of want to give Bold a little bit of a side eye, in my opinion. But I gotta say, I guess it was some interesting things to talk about in today's episode. Hey, Keita. Hey, daycare with the kids. Welcome in. Welcome, welcome, welcome. How are you guys doing? Who else we got? Joyce, Aisha, Melissa Spencer, Marion. Hey, 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 you guys. Let's see. Oh, good. Okay, so we can go ahead and get started. All right, so welcome you all. Hey, Melissa, Angela, Blackpink Me, Melinda, Belinda, Jacqueline. Hey, Jenna. Got a few things to talk about today with The Young and the Restless and The Bold and the Beautiful for October 8th. And yeah, make sure y'all hit that like button like Janine Holmes is saying. Hit the like button, people. All right. Let's go ahead. We're going to talk a little bit about Y&R. So, pretty much still a continuation of the Sharon storyline. And then we had some Victor drama today. And here's I guess the crazy thing about today's episode is they really don't, and this is just my opinion. I don't know the whole story behind it or whatever went on behind the scenes all these years. I just don't know. But it looked like we're not going to see Paul Davidson. They gave the character, Doug Davidson. I said Paul Davidson. Doug Davidson. They gave the character Paul a whole heart attack, and he can't travel, which is why we won't see him on screen. What do you guys think about that? I want to know and see what your thoughts were when you got that part when Daniel came in and found out, he found out that Paul is in the hospital and that Paul had a heart attack and that he won't be able to make the services. What did y'all think about that? Because I was like, really? Y'all could have just said, played around with it or something, but y'all were like, nope, don't even think about it. And I know there were like rumors and spoilers and all types of things circulating on so, in the internet and social media that, oh my God, could Doug Davidson be coming back? Blah, 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 blah. And everybody was excited. Oh, this could bring Paul back on screen. Yeah, we're not getting that. It seems. They gave a character a whole health scare. So now he can't travel from Portugal to Genoa City. Exactly, Marion. Boo. Jenna says she expected it. Jacqueline said, I hate what the writers are doing to Doug Davidson. Blackpink Me said, I didn't like it. Bring Paul back. Keita says she wasn't surprised. Linda couldn't watch. Yes. Let me send out prayers and well wishes to those in Florida. I think Tampa especially, because Hurricane Milton seems like it might be on the horizon. Yeah, I mean, Melissa, I thought they were going to actually do that. Melissa said, do you think that they could unalive Paul's character off screen? It wouldn't surprise me. When he came back in there and said that, I'm like, you got to be kidding. Don't tell me they didn't got rid of his character too. Belinda says that she's disappointed. Yeah, they had to come up with something. Even if we didn't see the character, the services went. Remember how they did Ray Rosales' service? We didn't even see the memorial. Sharon and the family walked out the door. And then after the commercial, they came back to the house and said, oh, that was a great ceremony. They could have said, you know what, yeah, that we had a, very sad ceremony, and it was nice to see Paul again, and even though we didn't get to see him. But they could at least incorporated it into the storyline, even if they didn't show the actual character. You know what I mean? Hey, Bree. Bree said it is disrespectful to the fans and to Doug for even bringing up Paul. They could have recasted the character. They had plenty of time. I agree. Or else, if you're going to bring up Paul, obviously Heather, the character Heather, she is Paul's daughter. Y'all could have easily said, had a, like I said with Sharon and Ray Rosales' situation, and, they walked out the door to the service and then came back in. We didn't even see the service. They talked about how the service was. They could have did the same thing with Heather and said, oh my God, it was nice to see Paul and give him some support. They could have did that and not just say, oh man, we got to get a man a whole heart attack. Oh, man. You know what I'm saying? It's just crazy, crazy, crazy. Yeah, Sammy, they could have recasted him. So that was the craziest thing out of this entire episode that really stuck out to me, because I was like, why did y'all bring up Paul in order to say, oh yeah, by the way, he's not coming back to, at least for Heather's services? Insane. I think that was poorly written. I mean, there's many ways to do that whole thing without having the character. You know what I mean? Yeah, so yes, we are keeping the Florida folks in our prayers. Anybody that's affected by Helene. And then, of course, Milton is, as Bree said, that they're bracing for impact. Blackpink Me, that's a good question. She said, is it serious that we don't get Paul back? I mean, thank you. Is it not? I mean, they could have did something. Put him in the script, whatever, So that stuck out to me. Let's talk about Allan. Because, I don't know, Allan is acting suspect to me. And I'm wondering if it's actually Martin. Martin, y'all remember the TV show Martin? I'm wondering if it's actually Martin and not Allan. I don't know. He's acting real brand new and excited and bubbly. And the Allan that I remember was real laid back. He was chill. He was kind of like, I don't know. Do y'all think that this is Martin or Allan? Let me see in the chat. Drop a comment in the chat. Martin or Allan? Martin or Allan? In the lower daycare with kids. In the lower left-hand corner, which is Tracy's boyfriend. So write the name, Allan or Martin. Who do you think it is? I want to see what you guys think. Okay, so I see people that says, I see a couple folks say Martin. Oh, I see a lot of Martins. There's a couple folks that think that that's Allan. Okay. Yeah, I'm wondering if they're going to try to flip this. Now, I remember what we saw, but anything is subject to change. I remember exactly what we saw, and the shirts. They had on different collared shirts and things like that, but that don't mean that they will flip the script on us. I know we flipped the script on our Friday show, but that doesn't mean that they won't flip the script on us. Bree said it's Martin, y'all. I thought Allan met Sharon and knew about Victor through Ashley. Ooh, good point. That's a good point, Bree. Good eye, Bree. Good eye. I'm going to read that again just in case for the people who are listening to the replay. Bree said it's Martin, y'all. I thought Allan met Sharon before and knew about Victor through Ashley. And you're right. Ashley will be back. Look like we got some updates on that and how well she's doing with her treatment when Tracy and Allan came back home. But here's my thing. I don't like it. Because Obviously, Tracy has been in an intimate relationship with this man under the perception that it's somebody else. Now, granted, it's a swap of the twins situation, but I'm like, she think it's Allan, not Martin. And maybe when Ashley come back, she will know the difference, like Blackpink Me is saying. That would be interesting. Geraldine Copeland says, I believe it's Martin. I know it's Martin. When they showed him come into the Abbott house, he act like he never been there before. I said that the last time he was there. Allan has been there before. He's been to the GCAC. He stayed at the GCAC. I would think that being that Ashley was good friends with Allan for years, Allan should know who Victor Newman is, unless it's a writer's flaw. Because my thing is, if he already know who Victor is, why would Tracy say, hey, you see those two guys over there? That's Victor Newman. And they had rivalry with our family for years. So I'm hoping that's not a writer's flaw. But I would think that Allan would already know who that is. So that was kind of, giving a side eye on that one. You know what I'm saying, you guys? I'm going to give a little bit of a side eye. Yeah. The other person I'm going to give a side eye to is Diane. Diane is doing too much. She's picking fights. And I agree with Jack. Jack is like, are you trying to pick a fight with me? She get mad. She get in her feelings. Oh, you must be talking about me. He ain't said nothing about you. He didn't like the fact that his son, he's trying to look out for his son. You trying to say, you know what? Screw Kyle. Bye-bye. And I get it. Kyle done some crazy things. But Diane, I mean, what happened to your motherly instinct? I mean, and granted, when it comes out that Kyle stole that formula for the face cream to sell over at Glissade, oh yeah, that's going to be a gut punch to the Abbott family. Big time. But I can also understand Jack holding out hope for his son. And Diane is just, she mad at everything. She gets mad Jack told her, look, Victor is sitting over there. Why don't we go somewhere else? She was like, no, I want to stay here. And then they sit at the table and Diane is staring at him all through. And Jack is like, would you stop looking over there? I mean, she being a pain in the butt. I think Diane is still up to something. You know what, Jenna? Every time this whole situation with Diane happens, the first person I think about is Jenna Corsentino in the chat, because she has been, since Diane came back in 2022, she has never at this point given Diane a pass. So more than likely, yeah, listen, Bree. Yeah, you're right. Diane has lost her mind. She's so miserable. She's trying to pick fights. I mean, seriously, I'm like, Diane, what is wrong with you? Jan says, whatever's going on with Diane is enough already. Kyle is doing bad things, but Diane should still be his mother. Exactly. I agree. And that's what Jack is like. Look, I mean, at the end of the day, that's still my son. You know what I'm saying? So she's pretty much like, to heck with him. He signed up with Victor. Yeah, he did. Okay. But what, you gonna not speak to him ever again? I mean, what, you wrote him off, Diane? I mean, you might as well go back to California. Your reason for coming back to California, according to you, was to rebuild the relationship with your son. Sons are not always nice sometimes. I mean, I have a 24-year-old. I mean, I'm not saying my son definitely knows how to respect me, but there are times that we disagree. And it's okay. That don't mean I wipe him, cut him out completely because we disagree on something. He's still an adult. Now, I don't agree with his actions. And of course, they don't know anything about, the whole formula for the face cream. But Vicky said that fight was done on purpose. Girl, you know what? And the thing is, Diane does not have a prenup. thanks to Jack. So if she wanted to get a divorce, she could take half of that company and half of the Abbott fortune if she wanted to. You know, but that would be his own fault. You know, you decide to let this woman come back in after disappearing and hiding her being alive for the last, what, decade and a half? Serious. You know, I mean, it's like, Diane, I think you need to chill out. You got a job, you got the husband, you living in the Abbott mansion. You got it pretty darn good for somebody who, you know, slithered back into town after being in a disappearing act for a decade. I mean, come on. I think maybe you need to think twice about your behavior. Myra said, did Jack and Diane put on a show? They never acted that way before. I think Diane did. Because Jack tried to quiet it down. He didn't want to be there. He was like, look, let's go somewhere else. No, she wanted to stay there and act a whole fool. She got loud in the middle of the restaurant. Diane needed to take several seats. Send her butt back to L.A. I was one of the ones that was giving Diane the benefit of the doubt for the last year and a half. But obviously, maybe I should take that back. Right, Jenna? Maybe I should take that back. Bree said a whole billion tearing up a prenup. Exactly. She's stupid. I mean, Jack is stupid. It's like, dude. Now y'all in a situation where she's acting like a raving hyena, and then you want to turn around and she could technically walk out and say, you know what, I want a divorce. And by the way, I'm taking half of Jabot. I'm taking half of the Abbott fortune, and I'm out. And ain't nothing you could do because you tore up the prenup. Wait a minute, hold on. So LaShanta says that she signed a postnup because of Ashley. Bree, can you check that for me? I don't know if you're still in the chat. I don't see a comment. But yeah, LaShanta says that she signed a postnup. Okay. I need to find out. LaShanta said Ashley said that she was a gold digger. So Diane signed a postnup. Okay, I'm going to have to look that up. I got to look it up. Because if she signed a postnup, then good. Then she can walk out with nothing. But if she didn't sign a postnup, oh, she did? Okay, she signed, Jenna says she did too. She signed a postnup. Okay, cool. I don't remember that. I got to go back and look that up. She signed it. Wait a minute. She signed it, but we never saw Jack sign it. Okay. All right, you guys. Well, maybe she'll walk out with nothing. You know what I mean? She presented it to Jack, but he didn't sign it. Oh, Jack, you better go find that paper and sign it. Even Tracy told Diane she's not to trust her. Okay. Anyway, across the room, we had a conversation between Victor and none other than Michael Baldwin being a royal simp. And I'm like, Michael, why are you kissing this man's butt? For what? To get back in his good graces. You're never going to get back in his good graces. He's just going to continue to move the goalpost. It's like, dude, what? I mean, so would you go put your foot in volcano lava, you know, if Victor told you to, just to prove something? Dude, you are an attorney, and I know he got you on retainer. Y'all ain't got to be friends. He pay you to do a job, fine. But other than that, I need you to prove to me. And if you prove to me by talking to Diane and find out what's going on, and then the whole situation to keep me out of trouble from stealing that formula from Jabot, you know, then maybe I'll think about having you in my good graces. Really, dude? And he go and do it like a little lost puppy who said, okay, Victor, I will do whatever you ask. Just tell me how high to jump. I'm like, man. Really, Michael? Yeah, so I wasn't feeling that at all. And then Chances is back on the force. Let's get the likes up, you guys. 31 likes according to Melissa Spencer, and it's 69 people in here. And then we got Chance, who's back on the case. And Chance has got a couple of questions. I'm curious to see whether or not that, because remember, she planted that stuff in there yesterday. So we got to see if, in fact, this blow up in her face or actually put, Daniel in jail. Bree said Michael is a human lapdog. Girl, absolutely. Abso-freaking-lutely. Belinda Hill said, I'm so sick of Michael groveling after Victor. Lauren is not going to be happy about Michael doing what Victor wants. You would think by now she would be like, you know what? It's either me or him. And I understand he giving you a paycheck, but you can make money on your own. You ain't got to work for Victor. Victor doing all these unethical things, and you just go running behind him. Ain't nobody got time for that. Yeah, I'm glad, Jacqueline. I'm glad that Chance is back on the force too. I think the character is better in law enforcement, in my opinion. I didn't understand why they put him over at Chancellor anyway. It didn't make sense. And I know they wanted him to add to the number of people that were abbots and chancellors over there because of the whole Winters thing. But the Winters thing is over. Devon got his company back, and now, so it's good to have Chance back on the force. And Daniel he's like, I got some questions for you, buddy. Yeah, you're going to have a whole lot more. And then finally, before we move on to Bold, besides the fact that Sharon was shocked about what happened, and she walked in and she tried to give all these little fake apologies because, of course, she was the main one behind, the actual one behind Heather's death. At the end of it all, because of course we remember Faith saying, oh, Mom ain't acting right. She looks suspect. I'm giving her a side eye. Also, because you know what? Here's the other thing I got to mention. Do y'all notice that they said that Faith took a semester away from school? Because the first question that I asked when I watched this episode, I'm like, when is Faith going back to school? And at the moment I said that, they was like, oh, you took a semester off from school. I'm like, well, that answers that question. But then we got Nick asking, asking Sharon to go out to dinner. And of course, she's thinking her plan is working perfectly. Oh, I knew this was going to happen. Oh, this is what I thought. He was going to actually come back to me, and now he's asking me out to dinner. So she thinking her whole plan working. The problem with that, Sharon, is that Nicholas is splitting his time two ways, with you and with Phyllis. So you're gonna have to deal with it, sweetheart. You know what? It would be interesting, LaShanta, if Michael does defend Daniel. Joy said, I think it was Summer that talked Chance back into going to the force. And yeah, especially after this case. I think she said, she had questions and reservations about it, but she's happy about it because, he'll be working Heather's case. So, yeah, well, LaShanta, let's see if those alibis hold up. Because the evidence, the way Sharon has it set up, it looked like it's pointing directly at him. So we'll see if she screwed up somewhere and whether his alibi works. I hope that Sharon doesn't go after Phyllis next. Ooh, that's going to be a whole problem. I mean, can you imagine the head-to-head between Sharon and Phyllis at this point? It would be insane. So, all right. I'm going to grade This particular episode, I'm going to give it a C plus. Diane got on my nerves. I think that guy is Martin. Sharon, and that she's just so happy that she got a date. So I'm giving it a C plus. I thought it was decent. Normally I give stuff C minuses and stuff, but I give it a C plus. I didn't like the way that they, got Paul out the way and get that man a whole heart attack. So that sucked to me, in my opinion. Mari gave it an F. She said it was boring. So, but yeah, I give it a C plus. We got a lot of C's in the chat. All right, let's go over to Bold. This episode with Bold was just absolutely nonsensical. I did not understand why we saw flashbacks of Steffy and Finn. What was the purpose of that? I don't understand why we got those flashbacks. It didn't make sense to me. Oh, I remember when I opened my eyes and I saw you there, Finn. And I'm like, why are we going back through this? Y'all could have took that time and gave us a hot scene with them, not a mechanical scene with Finn and Steffy. They said everything is good. Her mom is back home. Everything is quiet. It's just you and me. I love the relationship. I'm assuming Sheila is a non-factor for them right now. Yeah. So I'm like, what's the purpose of the flashbacks? That didn't make sense to me. Then the goofy scene. Now, I am glad that my girl Sheila is back. Sheila Carter Deacon Sharp. Okay, I had to think of that last name. I usually call her Sheila Sharp. But Sheila Sharp is back. Yes, she is. It was nice to see her. And the way she put her hands on Liam's shoulder, he was cringing. And I'm like, Liam, we're past that now. Sheila didn't do what Luna did, but I thought that was really cool. I thought that was cute. It's nice. I haven't seen Sheila in a while, so it was nice to see her back. And when he told her, he says, I'm gonna need you to go get that check. But he said, here's a message or something. I forgot what term he used. She went and got that check and slapped it on that table like, here you go with your crazy self. And I'm like, that was funny. Bree says Steffi finally appreciated her husband and acknowledges that he had to rescue her from her foolishness. She need to. The question is if she learned from her lesson. When is the next time she gonna run into something and he gotta save her again? But yeah, Aisha, that was funny. She came over there and put her hands on his shoulders, and he was sitting up there like, ooh, please don't touch me, ma'am. But him going on and on about his kids, I don't understand why Liam would think that would have been okay with these 20-year-olds to be, looking at pictures of his little girls. And he was like, oh, Beth is coming. Why don't you stick around? You get to meet my daughter. And they was like, oh, yeah, that's cute and all, but I got a meeting to go to. And Will was like, wingman, you are a horrible wingman. That was funny. But it was not, it was all right. I mean, it wasn't like, oh my God, this is what I was waiting to see in this episode. No, I didn't have that kind of moment. We did get a continuation of Hope and Carter. Hope was like, ooh, that was unexpected. He said to me it wasn't. I'm like, oh, that was a nice line. And she's smiling from ear to ear. She said that, oh, I thought maybe there was something, but I wasn't sure. I couldn't put my finger on it. And now that I know, yeah. Oh, let me go back to what happened at Irgidino. So after the girls left and Sheila slapped that check on the table, the other thing is Will trying to talk Liam into maybe fixing the relationship with Hope because his dating life has been stagnant. He's been focusing on his kids. And it just turned on a light bulb in Liam's head. And I'm like, now Liam, you've been pining after Steffy for the last year and a half. Of course, Steffy is 10 toes down being Team Fan. And with you just like your daddy. Oh, so you're not available? Oh, you're available. It's been a while since me and Hope addressed this. Well, maybe my little brother Will is right. Maybe it's about time to see if I can, spin the block and maybe go back and check and see if Hope is interested. Well, unfortunately, Liam, little puke waffle boy Liam, Carter has already threw his hat in the ring. And thinking of Carter, yeah, I know. LaShanta, Liam ain't never been by himself. This is the longest he's been by himself. You're absolutely right. Yep. Aisha, yep, waffle boy. Just like Ridge is waffle king. And then we might as well throw Bill in there because he was trying to juggle between Katie and Brooke for a while. Anyway. Speaking of that, we see Carter in the CEO office looking at Hope's picture and thinking about, the conversation and the kiss. So now he got plans. He want to make some plans. He goes over in the other room because Liam has showed up with Beth to surprise Hope with pizza. And they got a whole lunch family situation going on. And you can look at the look on Carter's face. Carter, you at a crossroad, my boy. Either you're going to fight for this or you're going to say, you know what, I don't know. I better take a step back because it's a possibility that just maybe Hope might go back to her ex-husband. And then he would be right back in the same boat as he has been after every woman that he dealt with. So, I don't know. Yeah, Sammy, he does seem lonely, but he needs some time to think. I'm telling you, Liam had been waffling back and forth between these two ladies. Got 2 babies by these 2 women for the last, 12 years? 12 years. Bree says Carter got a glimpse into his future with Hope. And Elizabeth is going to be just like Douglas and want to get her parents back together. It's just crazy that I'm hoping that they didn't want to make this triangle between Hope, Carter, and Liam only to put Liam back with her. Just put Liam. If you're going to put Lope fans in a position where they're happy, then just do it. Don't drag Carter in this. You know what I'm saying? Because obviously Carter's been through this multiple times. Yeah. So anywho, but Carter, that's what you're gonna have to deal with. You ain't got no kids. She's a woman that got 2 kids. One, she got a situation going on with Douglas, and the other situation is going on with Liam. You're gonna have to interact with that, especially with Liam being in town. And now that Liam is trying to put Hope back on his radar, yeah, you got a little bit of competition there. Mari said they need to stop these trios and triangles. It's boring and it's been, seriously, give us something else. But Ivy is coming to town. Now I'm hoping that Ivy stay a little while, because then if Hope turns Liam down, then maybe we'll get to see a little Ivy and Liam action. I would be okay with that. And we can kind of see where this thing is going to go with Carter and Hope. In my opinion, you know what I mean? Linda says, so maybe why didn't Carter go and try to find Quinn when she left him? Because Quinn is Carter's soulmate, not Hope. Linda, that would be nice, but they would have to recast her because Rena Sofer is on General Hospital. So you would need to find somebody, probably like a Gina Tognani would be a good replacement for Quinn. But I don't even know if she's available. That's what they could have done, but they don't want to recast the character. But yeah, this episode to me, it was as Bree would call it, a filler episode. Because it was like, okay, we got continuation from yesterday with, Hope and Carter. It was nice to see Sheila back, you know. But then we had this whole thing with Will trying to get Liam to go back to Hope. And I'm like, why? Why? Why are we doing that? And then that whole flashback storyline today with Finn and Steffy. I didn't get that. I'm like, why are we watching flashbacks? It's like y'all ain't got nothing to write about? Or is this a prelude to something else? You went all the way back to when you saw him in the hospital and all that old kind of stuff. And yeah, you admit that life is good. And I appreciate the fact that you saved me out of the messes that I create. Where you got a bullet in your belly and you had to save me from a cage and all this old kind of stuff. Why are we replaying that? That makes no sense to me. So, I mean, I'll give it a D plus, and the plus, I'm giving it to Sheila. So I'll give it a D plus, but the only reason I'm doing that is because I was happy that if I could give Sheila a grade separately on her own, it would be higher. But this episode was absolutely boring. And I'll tell you, usually I'm locked in. I was able to multitask and have other things playing in the background because, I'm always doing something. And I didn't miss anything. Because usually I'd be like, ooh, I don't want to miss this. Ooh, I got to talk about this. Ooh, I got to, but I didn't miss anything. I'm like, that's it? Really? That's all you got? So, I guess we got to prepare ourselves for the Carter and Hope and Liam triangle. And then, like I say, it's nice to have Sheila back. So, and then who knows, Beth might play Parent Trap, trying to get Hope and Liam together. So we'll see. It was ridiculous. Exactly, Gail. Exactly. Too many flashbacks. You're right, Joyce. I was like, why are we seeing all this? And wait a minute, somebody tagged me in the comments. Oh, that was Bridget Jackson. She said it's a prelude to sin finally being over. The question is, if that's the case, what are they going to do to tank that relationship? Unless they bring in Sheila back into some drama with them. I don't know. But I guess we'll have to see. All right, you guys, I'm going to end it right there. Make sure you stay tuned for the recap for tomorrow. And tomorrow is Hump Day Wednesday. We usually have our midweek chat with none other than Bree girl. And Bree have a lot to say. All the time. She will tell you like it is and how she feel and what she think about what's happened Monday through Wednesday. All right. So, oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. Of course, I try to catch some of the comments. I know I be on a roll from time to time, but I usually try to make sure that I catch the comments and, kind of shout you out and things like that. You know what I mean? All right, you guys. So until the next time, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Turn on your notifications so you're notified every time a video is posted. I'm T from Soap Corner Talk. And until the next one, we'll see you all soon. Bye, Soapies.